every +6, every pig. This is AFL Fantasy Live with the Traders. Now, here are your hosts, Roy, Calvin, and Warnie.
G'day with the Traders, thanks to Sportsbet. I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the One Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Boys, can you believe we are up to round 21?
Yes,
we are
know.
nearly there, and what it means, we are well and truly in the finals.
We
now.
are.
I hung around. I'm there for another week of finals.
Yep.
How did you guys go?
I can't really remember. Dog, how did I go?
You're there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Somehow?
Yeah,
Yeah, you are. I think you were in the top 4, but you lost.
Yeah, but I'm really focused on draft.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
It's where we're at the moment.
Because my team was so
That's where our cash is as
highly
well.
criticised on draft day.
Yes.
Went away with the boys,
Rightfully
big week,
so.
and rightfully so. And I've just been a little buttermouse,
Yeah, do you
fighting
know,
my way through,
do you know
and here
what?
I am.
Your play, your tactic, it's not actually that bad because
Right.
you get first pick down the bottom of the ladder each week off
Yeah.
the scrap heap.
Yep.
You have actually built a side off that.
Yeah, I have.
So it is a play. You're never out of it in
No,
draft.
never out of it. And it doesn't look anything like the team that I
No,
started with.
that's why it's half decent.
But
now.
here I am.
Yeah, well done. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm sitting in both. Sitting quite comfortable too. I think I could take out the double this year. I'm coming home in Classic. You guys still laugh at me.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
Well, after your efforts in our draft league last year to win it, and
Yes.
then put on a very good draft
Oh, yeah,
weekend.
I did. I
You
sort
can
of
have
feel
it.
like you
Hey.
guys are just letting me win.
There's a little hint for coaches too to go and get organised for your draft weekend next year. Pencil it in, make sure everyone's aware of the weekend that you're planning on doing the draft before the season starts. Long weekend's not a bad time to do it if you've got that long weekend.
I haven't
in
had a better
March.
weekend since this year.
No.
That has been as good as it's got for me that weekend.
Quite easily.
It was elite.
It was so good.
So much
Oh,
fun.
it was good. We actually have a good weekend coming up.
We
Ladies
do.
and gentlemen, round 23.
Yes.
If you're in Melbourne for the last home and away round, which
Yep.
is, more importantly, the Fantasy Grand Final
Oh, yeah.
weekend, we're going to be doing an event of some
It's an
description.
event.
We're
We
gonna go
like
on-
to party. We like to party.
Yes, we
Basically,
do.
Saturday afternoon. More details to come.
That's right.
Via the venue and what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff.
And the thing is, like, if you're not
Saturday
in Melbourne,
afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, if you're not in Melbourne, book your flight.
Yeah, you might as well.
You might as well
It'll
come
be
and
fun because
I think it will be
we'll be
fun.
watching our scores tick over and see how it's going. It's going
Party
to be
Central.
a lot of fun. So
That's going to be good fun.
I'll be nervous though that
Yeah.
weekend.
The
good thing
So I'll
is-
be in 2 grand finals. I reckon.
It'll be Saturday afternoon before probably everything hits the fan on the Sunday, which often that's when it does for
Big
our
games
fantasy
on
team.
Sunday.
I
Big
love it.
games
I
on
love it.
Sunday.
It'll be good fun anyway.
We'll all be able to celebrate the end of the season, and especially if you've been a listener to the podcast, been checking out our live streams.
Oh, yeah.
Come along.
Yeah, definitely
Have a
come
big
along.
year and,
Say good, eh?
Yep.
Should be a lot of fun, and we'll probably all realise that what we do when we're watching our fantasy teams on the weekend is just stare,
We're going to be so
stare at our phone
antisocial.
the whole time. That's exactly.
Come
what
along,
we're
watch
doing.
us
Sounds
stand
like-
in the corner just looking at our team.
Sounds awesome to me.
So we do have a little bit of news before these teams drop. We do
Yeah.
have a debutante, which I think fantasy coaches were ahead of the game with.
They were. They
Jai
were.
Sarong has been one of the most traded in players
Yes.
this week. Sat in the top 5 all week. 190k mid forward. But he has been named up that he will debut for Hawthorn this week. Down here.
Pig Park.
At Pig Park.
Yep.
Could be a big score then
Could
at
be.
UTAS Stadium.
So we had 85 last week in the VFL, averaging 56 for the year.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I want to bring him in if I can.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Come watch
if
him.
you need to cash down, he's the obvious option.
is.
Because hopefully you're not relying on him to play,
Yep.
but also just the fact that he could be that little heartbeat that you
Yes.
need coming off the bench because we have seen issues
Yes.
over the last couple
Now,
of
Dog,
weeks.
there's something I'm very disappointed about
What's
though,
that?
in regard to that.
With his price.
One, his price is ruined for next year.
Yes.
Yep.
And two, how was I the only one that didn't get this squirt?
Yeah, I don't understand.
He was in the top 5 traded in
Yeah.
players, as Dog said.
Yeah.
And it hadn't come through me. Not one squirt.
Well, is there any squirts out there?
There has to have been.
Well, I'm talking in general.
No.
for other things.
No.
It's
Well,
quite
there's a
weak.
couple of attempted ones.
Oh,
but I'm not
no.
happy to go with them.
Don't go with them.
No, I'm not.
I didn't like them. I do have a little squirt, though. I'm hearing that your mate, Jack Crisp, well, he might be carrying a bit of a back issue, and that could explain a few things.
That explains a lot of things.
It does.
So that's something.
And that's a
I've
full
heard.
squirt?
It's a reliable one.
A reliable
I've got a
squirt.
reliable one on that one. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well, it doesn't
Out of
surprise
Collingwood
me.
as well is that we know that Brodie Grundy isn't going to be playing this week. So he had a bit of an ankle issue. However, they've said he'll probably still play VFL.
What?
Interesting.
Like half a game or something?
Yeah, so
Grundy will play in the VFL.
again.
My squirt, I did get a squirt on
Okay,
that.
yeah,
And
did you?
my squirt was no game for you. Any level.
Right,
Any
really?
level.
Right.
Well, that
Yeah.
makes more sense, doesn't it? If he's got it, yeah.
I think he might not play again or be eligible to play till finals time.
There's also rumours that Teakle might be back as well, dog.
Yeah, so he could even be a downgrade
Well,
if you wanted that.
he's a
'cause
190
Some people, I'm still got Hayes as my.
He's a 192 ruck
We
forward.
don't talk who I have there.
Who do you have?
Jamo. Hey, he's worth a bit. He's over
Just
300. There's a bit of
pocket money.
coin there.
There is a
You
bit.
could make a little bit out
That's
of him, I reckon,
7.
Roy.
That 7 didn't help his price, did it?
Yeah, definitely did not.
Certainly
Anyway,
not.
any teams through yet, though?
Right, yes, we do have some teams. Let's get going. So Friday night footy, it's going to be a cracking game.
Oh, this is a belter.
Melbourne and Collingwood,
Sure is.
7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time start. So Ben Brown comes in for the D's, and Wiedemann has been omitted. So Chan.
Poor old Wiedemann. I think he had one touch.
Yeah, it's not good.
So Collingwood, Taylor Adams is out with his injury. Bianco has been omitted, so Brody Myercheck comes back in. The old checkers for those guys. Now, let's start looking at the Saturday.
Let's do that.
Let's look at Saturday games. 1:45 down here.
Pig
at
Park.
Pig Park. That is Hawthorn and our Gold Coast Suns. Boys,
Right. Where are we at with the Suns?
in the cheer squad.
Yes!
So Hawthorn.
Oh, no.
I cannot wait. Denver, Granger Barras is back in. Jai Sarong, as we mentioned earlier, and Jarman Impey are the ins. Now, CJ's out suspended. James Blank has been managed. Josh Morris is injured and Mitch Lewis injured. For the Gold Coast Suns, Alex Davies comes in. Brandon Ellis is also in. Now they're out. Atkins omitted, Markov omitted, and Ace, who was the midi sub.
When you say we're sitting in the cheer squad, are we the cheer squad?
I think it's us
That would be it.
and probably just us.
Has Roy got
that's
the
all right.
banner?
If
Has
you
he
lived
got
on the Gold Coast, though,
Yeah.
are you coming down to Launceston? It's been raining. and
Yeah,
wet.
but
I'll tell you what, we'll put in for him, though.
Too right.
I will cheer hard.
Yeah.
I want you to bring the trumpet cow.
I don't own one, but I shall get one.
You're actually a good sound effect guy. You
I
could do
could
that.
easily
You
do
could
it.
do it.
Better
All
than
right.
that crow guy last time we were here.
No, he was
Cow, the alarm, sound it. Braden
God.
Pruce owners. He's not out, but Briggs is in.
good. Look, I don't mind that. That's good for Himmelberg. That's how far down the
right,
line
yeah.
I'll
Oh,
look.
geez,
Yeah.
So Cornelio is back.
Yes,
he
come
was,
on,
He
what a
was in
hold.
the team this time last week as
What
well.
a hold.
Great hold.
Riccardi's also in now. Ash has been omitted.
Big one.
That's great for Zach Merritt.
Very
It
big
is.
for Zach.
Right. O'Halloran omitted. Brown has been omitted. Jacob Ware is out with that calf. So, now for the Bombers, Parrish is back. McGrath is back. Good ins. Caldwell's out with a calf. D'Ambrosio has been omitted.
It's a bummer. Now, the thing with Zach Merritt,
Yes.
his CBAs this year have fluctuated a lot.
Yep.
Now, they only go down with these two back.
Agree, 100% they do.
But we can't go expecting a 160 every week, can
No, you
we?
can't.
Whatever he had, 170.
172.
Right, so Zach Merritt, that's a massive win.
A little bit in there, yeah. And especially with old Briggsy.
Briggsy for Prusy. Prusy goes for me anyway.
Look, don't worry about that. He scored better with Briggsy
Yeah,
than
I
without
wouldn't
him.
stress about
Okay.
it, dog.
I've got him.
Chin
I've got
up.
Braden Prusy in my team.
You're lucky he held. It's good news. God,
Bulldogs.
He now complains. He's sitting
No.
that well. He complains when his players stay in the team.
Because he's choking up about his hat. He's choking
Ah, that's
up.
right.
He's tightening it up around
Brett
his neck.
Ratton still.
No?
He's
All right.
Well,
Christmas
get
covers.
over it, dog.
Western Bulldogs and Fremantle at Marvel Stadium, 4:35 p.m. Keith Treloar is back in and Darcy's in for his debut.
Yep.
They're out. No one really of note. Carmus, Hannon, McComb have been omitted and Gardner is injured. For Freo, Tucker's back in after that massive game in the Waffle last week. And O'Driscoll, one
back.
of our rookie finds of the year. He's been great, so he's back in. Henry omitted. Collier omitted, and Banfield, who was the Medi sub, is out. as well.
So Bonta's got up, obviously.
Well, there's
Well-
a presser today say that he'll be fine. So,
Yep.
all good.
Okay.
Let's hope so.
But
anyway.
it was a cork, Roy.
cork.
It was, but it's a proper cork. He's playing the next week. That's
Yep.
what you do with the cork. You don't have 3 weeks out
No,
of
you
the
don't.
cork.
Geelong and St Kilda. So Stanley's come back in. They're managing Joel Selwood after his milestone game last week. Gary Rowan is out with concussion. Let's look at St Kilda. Howard is in. Leonard omitted. Burns omitted.
Boo
No
Earns.
Tom Campbell to be seen.
No.
No.
All right.
Tell you what, Rowan Marshall, number one trade target this week.
He's the
Has
most
to
traded
be.
in at the moment.
100% he should be. Should have
And
been
he'll
last week.
be in for Proust.
I said that.
Roy.
I said that.
Roy.
Somebody said that.
It's son of a
Port
week.
Adelaide and Richmond are playing at Adelaide Oval. That's 7:10 Adelaide time, 7:40 for us here. Teakle is back.
Oh, called
he's
it early.
And Houston
Yes.
is back in there. So they're out. So Marshall's out with health and safety protocols. Lockie Jones, a hammy, which sees him done for the fantasy season anyway. Well, they're not making finals, so that's...
Oh, rub it in,
game
dog.
over.
Jeez, he doesn't like Port Adelaide. Jeez.
Georgiadis, he's been omitted. Now, let's look at Richmond. Gibcus comes in after Dylan Grimes having surgery on that hammy, and Edwards has been managed.
Now, you might wonder why I was so happy.
Why were you happy
Because
about
my draft
Dan
team
Houston?
got the Treloar-Houston combo in.
Oh.
They're two big ins.
Happy
massive.
about that.
They are massive ins. Sorry, play on, dog. Keep going. You're
Right.
doing, I'd say a wonderful job. You're going
It's
okay.
the Roy Show. All right, let's have a look here. So, North Melbourne, they're playing against Sydney at Marvel. Remember, these are extended squads. So, Bonar has been omitted, Spicer
stiff.
omitted, and Archer is out with a hip. So, at the moment, who was there? Bloke that debuted last week?
I don't know.
Some guy.
Yeah, he was all right.
Dawson.
Dawson.
Callan Dawson.
Played really well.
Currently still there. Aaron Hawley's back in there at the moment.
Interesting.
As well as Perez, the GOAT. Goater. And then we also have Curtis.
We don't want the
Young
goat playing.
And
And,
Cora.
and apologies to him and his friends and family, but we don't want him playing.
No, we want to celebrate it next
Got
year.
3. Well, I want to write about it in the record.
Yeah,
Trust
true,
me,
true.
North Melbourne don't have a lot to write about, Roy.
Sydney, Amadi has been omitted coming into their squad. Roberts, McDonald, Laddams, and Ronk.
That's been pretty boring selection so
Which is
far.
what we want.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been excited.
Have you?
Been some good ins.
That's right.
Brisbane and Carlton. So Cockatoo has been omitted. Rich comes back in there as well as Starcevic, Lohman and Pryor into the squad. Carlton. Kennedy's out with concussion. Newman with a knee. Plowman omitted. Wheels are falling off
Yeah,
at the Blues,
she's
Roy.
not good. She's not good.
not
Although
good. Because-
Plowman out's handy.
Yep.
Paddy Dow comes back in though,
Oh,
Roy.
that's a big in.
This
March
is what we
Bank,
needed.
Jack Martin, Fogarty, or is he Fogarty? Which one's which?
Fogarty, apparently.
Fog.
But I call him Fog.
The Fog. Kemp and Newnsy.
Big ins. Big ins.
Marchie's back.
Marchie.
I've still
That's
got him.
massive.
You still have him, do
Still
you?
have
You
him.
got bench cover, Cow.
Yeah, I've got bench cover everywhere, mate. Might be able to
West
loop.
Coast and
Alright.
Adelaide at Optus Stadium. West Coast, Kennedy in. Well done, Josh Kennedy, on your career.
That's
retiring.
good. He's a jet.
Langdon, Petreski, Seaton, Bazzo, Nelson, and Clark are coming into the squad. Petrocelli, Hammy, West injured, and Cully suspended for those couple of weeks. And for Adelaide, no outs. Frampton, Haitley, and Scholl are coming into the squad. So, stock take, boys. What
Okay.
have we got?
It's pretty good.
Wasn't too bad.
Silly Bruce owners have got Briggsy in there.
Yeah, but
it's all right,
as
though.
Roy said, that's not a
It's
bad
fine.
thing.
It's fine.
It's
It's,
not a
good for, so it's
disaster.
good for Himmelberg.
great for Himmelberg.
Yeah.
Himmelberg
Can
will
you
play back
trust?
now.
Can you trust any Himmelberg action at the moment?
Oh, well, you can't really, and he's no guarantee to play in the same spot for the whole game. But I think I'm convinced he'll play in defence now this week. So it's a hold where people would rightfully be considering trading him out. But I think he'll play in defence now, given that team selection. Where did they name him? Not that it matters. But I think Briggs in, playing forward, ruck, Himmelberg goes back.
Where do we
Berg
sit?
is named on the bench. Even worse,
Where
Trade. No, he's a hold.
where do we sit with just on the old Juicy here? So he's played in a couple of games with
Briggsy.
old mate Briggsy.
Yeah.
A 108, a 105, and a 108.
Yeah.
If
See what I said?
My stats are
Okay.
correct.
See what I'm saying?
Your stats
Oh,
are
great.
correct. If my stats are correct.
Might be the other way. She's right. Doesn't matter. So here's the thing. Where do we sit with Darcy Cameron?
Nah, he's all right with Briggs.
Where do we sit with Cameron?
Okay, so good news, obviously, is that Grundy isn't in with him.
It's not good news.
That's horrible news, Doc.
Disgusting.
He's hurt
For
himself.
Darcy Cameron,
He's hurt himself. Don't you like Grundy?
He's the ruck pig, man. Show a bit of respect.
It's not
you
good
should
news.
show a...
Pause. Right. Where do we sit with him? So no Grundy, but he's up against Max Gawn.
Yeah, it's
And
not
you've
an
got to
ideal
do the
matchup.
move tomorrow night.
Yeah, so that's big.
God. Coming from a guy
Right,
who
here we
traded
go.
on Friday night last week,
Yeah.
it's a scary thing because that news that seems to flow through of a Saturday morning is hot and heavy, dog.
Yes.
You get more news that Saturday morning.
You would have been quite happy. You'd be happier if you didn't trade
I
on
would have
Friday
been
night.
hundreds of points better off.
So who are the trade out people or trade in targets even on Friday night? So Cameron, I think you hold Cameron regardless.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Don't you?
No, not against Max Gone. That could be a 60 or a 70.
You say thanks for your 97.
Yeah, I think he can go.
And
You don't get any tougher than Max. You're not getting a lot of free hit-outs against
So
Max
you're not
Gone.
moving one of those defenders before him. You're not moving a Sicily or a,
Yeah, see, there's the thing.
well, I guess a Dacos or a Crisp if they were on your radar to move. Yes, they've got a good matchup, but if they were on your radar to move, you're not
Dacos
moving.
doesn't move. You do not move Dacos or Chippy.
What about
this week.
Short?
So do we think Chippy's going to get enough time across half-back to actually boost his score versus
believe
Melbourne?
so.
Obviously, we're flagging that Melbourne give up an unbelievable amount of points and uncontested marks to defenders.
Yep.
So we're thinking Chippy, who has been, well, carrying a back injury, but his scoring has been far less than what we expect from him because we rate him very highly.
Yep.
Will he be back there enough to push that? We're looking for a 95 from him.
I think he will. I think he'll spot up back there. But even Melbourne giving up to midfielders,
Yep.
they rank here, quick count, maybe about sixth.
Okay.
A sixth
So he
easiest.
should get it done in there
He
anyway.
still should get it done anyway. I
Yep.
think he's an easy 90.
And Max would be the hardest ruck to score against, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he is. He would be.
Yep.
Especially when he's plays.
All right, so it is a tough one.
He'd be pretty easy to score against when he doesn't
Well,
play.
he's been going up against not much.
Yeah, so okay. Well, I think
You know what I mean,
If
though?
you-
I do know what you
I don't
mean.
get individual numbers. I just get team numbers.
so. If you think Cameron is your weakest link at the moment, then you still pull the trigger Friday night.
Yes,
and
agreed.
hope for the best over the weekend.
And I think that's the decision when you make your trades. You've got to look at it and go, okay, who out of my crew here could be the lowest scorer this week? And they go.
An interesting thing, although there were no big name outs, there were popular bench players that are out.
Yeah.
Like benches might be getting pretty thin.
D'Ambrosio,
Yep.
one of them.
Yeah,
And
yep.
Ware, that's my double backline combo, so I don't have...
No, and McCom was out. He was
Yep.
my only forward cover because Cully's out as well. So I lost
Yep,
both
Cully,
my
yep.
forward benches. So they might be thinning out a little bit.
The other one to look at on a Friday night would be Clayton Oliver. So he's had a couple of sub-100 games since coming back with his thumb. However, it's Collingwood.
Yeah.
The easiest team for midfielders. He played them earlier this year in that game, just to prove my point. Viney won 57. Oliver won 46.
Wow.
Angus won 27. James Jordan won 24.
Oh, they had a field.
They
day.
had a field day, and they will again. Everyone has a field day against Collingwood.
What do you think of Angus Brazier as an option? He stays
Well-
in that midfield, does he?
Well, the thing is, he was an option the week before as
Yeah,
well. So, yes, he's an option because,
He's
they
getting
give up so
mid-clock
much in
now.
the mid.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether mid-clock long-term helps him or not. Like, he's coming off. So, we all got excited by his score on the weekend playing midfield. He scored more last week as a defender.
Yeah, okay.
So, yes, he's an option, but not purely based on that mid-time. He was an option anyway.
So last week he was 57% CBAs.
Yeah.
And the week before there are just donuts.
Yep, it was a role change.
Yeah,
and he
mega.
played really well. So, yes, he's an option.
But I don't think it matters if he's in there or back there.
No.
So he's 100% an option.
Yeah.
If you're tuning in live, hit up the Facebook page and you can add your questions in the comments. We'll be getting to those very soon. And also, if you're on Twitter, you can go at AFL Fantasy and we'll be checking those and getting into those very shortly too.
You're listening to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast. This is the Gold Diggers, thanks to Sportsbet. Conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. 1-800-858-858.
Roy, you're up this week for the Bet with Mates
no.
group. Thanks to
Let's
Sportsbet. Now, head to sportsbet.com.au where you can start your group, bet together, and share the moment. We're going to start off, like we always do, with a Friday night same-game multi, and it's all about the disposals
It is.
at the MCG, Collingwood and Melbourne. It could be big.
This will have you licking your lips because Melbourne give up a truckload of possessions, marks, the lot to defenders.
Right.
Okay, and we are going to make the most of that. So, Darcy Moore, 15 or more disposals. Braden Maynard, 20 or more disposals. Those two are going to clean that up by three-quarter time. This is how confident I am.
Okay.
And then James Jordan, who had an absolute field day, I think 29 touches last time he played the Ds. And that's $25 at $7.50.
I can see you've checked out the scale of hardness on this one.
I have.
Yeah, and rightfully so. So Moore should get 15 or more. And the
Yes.
other one, James Jordan, 29 touches last time they played.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
over
get
20, tick, tick. Boom!
That's a big one.
All right, let's look at
good one.
Saturday and our traditional Saturday goal kickers. Let's get an anytime goal scorer in each game.
All right, a little more nervous about this, right?
Okay.
However, I'm going Ben Ainsworth,
Yep.
James Peatling, Josh Dunkley, Jack Higgins, all goal scorers,
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
Noah Cumberland.
Oh,
He
he's a
kicked
bucket.
a mini bag last time
righty
too.
then.
So
Well, he's good. Since he's been in, he's been awesome. So came on as a medical subs. He's scored or kicked 11 goals
go.
in his 4 games.
That's ridiculous.
That's a nice little anchor to put into your Saturday afternoon
100% it's an anchor.
same game multi. Now, our anytime goal scorer.
Of course.
That we're doing. You can find Bet with Mates in the Sportsbet app. Start your group, bet together and share the moment. Conditions apply. For more details, see sportsbet.com.au. And as always, gamble responsibly.
Rightio, boys. Welcome back. Welcome back for the first time today. Calvin's captains. Rightio. This
What's
is
that accent?
it's me, Richie Benno.
Oh, right. I thought you were an Irish pirate at times. You changed.
Mate,
it did go in and out of.
it does.
character.
You know, because
You've got your Irish music there thanks to Captain O'Brien's crack, and you're talking...
I'm trilingual.
Right.
Okay, because I can speak Indonesian. I can count satu dua tiga empat. I can do all that. I can speak Chinese
Can you pick a decent captain though?
and, of course, English sometimes. So,
I challenge that one.
Captain, so easy here
Your kids
because
at school would have learnt more from Indonesian than you teaching them English, I reckon.
100%. Right, go. It's boring. Rory Laird obviously has to be number one.
Hell yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah. And people go, oh, cow, anyone could do that. No, they couldn't, mate. It's pretty hard to do. He's gone over 130 in his last 5 and 120 in his last 8. It's a boring no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's already scored a 125, 122 against the Eagles this year. It's the last game of the round. He will bring it home.
Will he get tagged?
He might get Xavier O'Neill,
Yeah.
who went to Took last week, and Took had 122.
Oop.
However, he only had 1 mark, which is a good indicator of someone putting attention into you.
Yeah.
However,
Laird doesn't mark.
Laird
either,
had
though.
2 marks last week for his 130. So he doesn't need the marks. He gets it done in tackles. He gets his tackles for free. Now, the other thing is, Mills plays the first game on the Sunday. Okay, so you could loop that into that, which is fine. He's up against, oh my God, I don't want to use the term bloodbath, but it is the Kangaroos under the roof.
There's marks galore.
There are
surely.
marks. So Essendon last week against the Kangaroos, 5 guys went double-figure marks.
Oh dear.
It is going to get nasty. And they had 6 guys go over 110.
Yep, this is Bath territory.
This is Bath territory. So him and Parker, also like Lloyd in this one as well.
Yeah.
So if they're taking so many marks there under the roof,
Yeah.
he should have a good day as well. Also like Clayton Oliver, as we said before, against Collingwood, he had 146 this
and
year.
he's had a
against them
couple of
all.
weeks with his thumb.
He's had a
now.
couple of ciders now.
So now he'll go bang.
He should be fine.
Couple of ciders.
Ciders, you know.
Apple ones.
A little unique pick as well if you want to
Yeah.
trade him in because since not many people would have him.
No. No,
Anyway.
he would have been highly traded out with that thumb.
Zach Merritt now, I confidently hold his spot. He could even be bumped up into
See,
number
I was
3.
worried about you
Yeah.
having him there.
Yeah.
But now,
As I said,
you just a
can't
a
jump at
mind
shadows.
reader on this cow.
Can't jump at shadows.
Yes,
So
you can jump at shadows for potential tags.
I don't jump at
Roy,
I think you jump.
Yeah.
A
you
little.
could not make Zach Merritt your captain
If
with that potential
Ash was
of Ash
playing.
playing.
He could easily be your vice captain
I would
here.
V it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
see it.
You could V it, and then you've got your Mills and your Laird to come. So you've got heaps of options. Anyway,
Good call.
so he should have a day out.
You're right though. You do jump at tag shadows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you
consider
I
them.
couldn't
You
have had him
consider
that
them.
high on the list.
But I'm
You almost need to
You're
have
not
your
me.
VC have a crack list.
You're
Yeah.
not me.
and
I know.
your captain safe. Just take it to the bank.
You're not me. Right. So
Thankfully, if I was you, far out, I don't know if I'd still be alive.
I like
to be honest.
God, he's a rotten dog.
Walsh should be good too.
Yes.
To destroy against the Lions.
Good
128.
trade target, Walsh.
Yeah,
coming home.
123 against them last year, and they've been giving up a little bit of points.
His ceiling's just gone a little bit up again, Walshy. He's going to finish real strong.
So they are my main people. Any little flag tag alerts here? We got to look at Took, who could and maybe should get McGuinness out here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a...
it doesn't matter. He's so tough and
So you
runs so hard.
wouldn't jump at that shadow.
I jump at that one, yeah.
Right.
Because I think that
100%
one,
you would, yeah.
that one
100%,
definitely
I agree.
happens. If he doesn't tag Took, who does he tag?
There's no one to tag.
There's no one else. So I think that he gets that one. The other one to look at is the James Aish tag. So he went to Oliver last week, kept him under 90. Out of the Bulldogs, where does he go though?
It's interesting.
He
isn't
can't go to Bont.
He's a
too
funny
good.
one because he doesn't actually tag hard every week.
Yep.
But he does a great job of it when he does it. And you're coming up against a midfield with a lot of damaging
That's the problem.
players. So you would think he goes again, wouldn't
Yep.
you? I can't tell you which one he goes to.
Is it
though.
a Bailey Smith?
Hope not. After picking
Yeah, I
last
know.
week,
I
Cal.
don't think so. Every time I try to pick who you would go to from the Bulldogs, it ends up on Libba
Yeah.
because of
and
how
it might
damaging
be
he
Libba.
is. It probably would be Libba.
Probably is Libba. There
All
you go,
right.
dog. That
couple
is.
of questions
Oh.
about your captain.
Oh,
on the way
how
through.
dare you.
Robbie wants to know, what about Cripps without Hewitt?
Yeah, once again,
Those numbers have been good. Who
139.
would trade him out?
Yeah, me. 139, 121.
Yeah.
Since I traded him out.
So there's a couple of factors in this too.
Yep.
So there's no Huey.
Yeah.
God, Lockie doesn't carry him on his own back again anyway. But there's no Huey. There's also no Kennedy.
Yep.
And Pitbull's back.
Pitto's back.
Okay.
All of these three things,
Mr. Worldwide.
yeah, worldwide, are massive for Cripper. So yes, he should be huge.
Oh, the
again.
problem is, though, he's the second last game on the Sunday. You're not rolling a vice captain into a Cripper.
No.
And you will have what looks to be 50 minutes to have a look at Cripper if you're rolling it into Laird.
Not enough time.
Not enough. So the answer is no. But yes, but no. Yeah. But yeah.
Where was that
Understand,
other... what about Mitchell then as a VC?
Don't mind it.
Because it's an early game.
Yep. It's the first one up down here, Pig Park. We know what he does there. 115, 106 is his last two. Hasn't been the massive pig that we know.
No.
What exactly is his role at the moment? Is he like starting on a wing and then just going into the guts? Is that what he's been doing?
Yeah, that's when he's after starting on the bench.
After starting on the pine?
Yeah, so, but one thing he did do last week, he was, they weren't ignoring him when he was
Coming back.
butt naked
Yeah,
open,
right.
coming back towards the ball. So he did get the ball in his hands for a few more plus sixes, which, as an owner, was a very pleasing sign
Yeah.
because there'd been weeks prior to that where he was just there, and it just to the it's a highly trained eye, to be honest. He was the right target, but they were not going to him. They did it again last week, and out here, which he loves, and it's a good matchup. It's worth a VC.
It is. So he's number 7 in my top 10, dog. And I reckon that's the first time he's been in there for a long
It
time.
is, yeah.
Any love for Andy Brayshaw? Where was he?
Oh no,
Here we go.
come
Andy
on.
You are not touching Andy Brayshaw against the Bulldogs under the roof. Bulldogs, number one hardest to score against. Geelong had him last week, and only one guy, and it was Isaac Smith, hit 100, and that was a 104. You are
Like
not...
Andy Brayshaw, though.
Mate, he will not turn up.
He's a 115 min.
No.
Easily.
No.
Let's have a line on it.
Okay, I'll give you 115. You said it's minimum. Let's go.
That was Roy who said that. He said he wouldn't turn up.
He's not turning
I'll
up.
give
have
you the
that
line 110.
Done. I'm all in on that. He ain't going 110. There you
Right.
go.
I'll take the overs.
Done.
He's too good.
He's just
it
too
doesn't
good.
matter that
Oh,
they're
let's-
hard to score against for mere mortals.
Brownlow, sure.
Yes, it does.
He's amazing.
Oh, yeah, he may win the Brownlow, but he's not winning Calvin's captains, mate.
At least I bit my pride with him and now back him in.
Yeah.
And rate him. When are you going to come around?
I might trade him in this week.
Yeah, then he'll be up the top 5.
I want to play again.
I reckon I would have had a pretty good crack at the record. They were greatness.
She goes to the milk bar and comes out with 5 Heralds and I'm on the front.
It has been a privilege and a pleasure to spend time with the Centurions, getting to hear their stories in their words.
It was just a buzz of a place to be.
Oh, it's exciting.
You take that conversion rate any day of the week.
Subscribe to the Centurions wherever you get your podcasts and keep clicking back to afl.com.au and the AFL Live app for another instalment with the game's greatest goal kickers.
Nothing wrong with a bit of me time.
Thanks, BT. Right, Calvinator.
Present.
Who is the number one trade target for the rest of the year? Ryan Smith wants to know this from the Facebook chat.
Okay, who do you need? I think it's Rowan Marshall.
100% it's Rowan
It's
Marshall.
Rowan. And that is why he sits... People aren't stupid. I know you look out there and when the camera's off, Doc goes, "Oh, these people just don't understand it, right?" He goes, "Cal, you're
That
the
is
only."
a quote that comes from his
He goes,
mouth
"Cal,
every week.
you're the only bloke that understands me." People are switched on, Roy.
Yeah.
If they've got Rowan Marshall as the most traded
Yes.
in player this week,
Yeah.
people are switched on.
Yeah, they
He
listen
should have
to
been the
me.
most traded in player last week. If it wasn't
We were to
for
see.
rats.
See,
I still cannot get over it.
I told you, it should have happened prior to that. It should have happened the week before that. Why are people ignoring me? Just because I'm ranked 3,000?
Yeah.
I'm a good coach, out of form, out of luck.
That's right.
All right, you still should listen. We all should have him by now.
I also think that we all definitely need a Callum Mills, a Luke Parker, these guys as well. So they go North Melbourne, then they go Collingwood.
That's not, sorry, I didn't mean to say easy. That's an interesting one because Luke Parker, a lot of people just cannot pull the trigger on that when there's more exciting names around.
Should have done it last week.
Yeah.
I'd got Bailey Smith instead.
Yeah, so
60-odd points
So people are
difference.
asking this week, who do you go out of Bailey Smith and Luke Parker? And it's a fair question because Bailey Smith has sat at number one of the Roland 22 basically since he got forward status. But Parker is getting it done week in, week out. What's the scale look like?
Scale's great. So he goes North Melbourne, obviously, who are a light green, into Collingwood, giving up most of mid.
Looks
So
like behind us at the moment, the red-green
It's
tape.
amazing,
We know
isn't it?
They're
Yeah.
testing out the signs here
And
at Utah Stadium.
It's very cool.
Parker's coming off 118, 114.
Yeah,
So he gets a boost on that,
he does.
providing these matchups coming up.
So Bulldogs, from memory, come home like a steam train as well. Like Bailey Smith should be huge in his last two. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, so Freo are a red team.
Yeah.
That's tricky again this week. So, geez, that's going to stink. Into GWS, who are green, into Hawthorn, who are one of the dark
Right.
greens.
So they both come
That's a
home
big
strong.
park as well.
They do, but I
But
think
Parker's is
the
slightly
strongest
better.
is a Parker.
So
yeah.
you what? I just cannot. I know where people are at with this.
Yep.
If you had them both sitting in front of you, Bailey
I
Smith and
know,
Luke Parker,
I hear you.
You'd be thinking Bailey
The
Smith.
bloke that was going 150s
Yes.
for fun at the start of the season.
Yes.
Luke Parker can have some big quarters.
Red-green table.
He can have some
looks good for
shocking
that.
quarters.
He goes missing. He could have like a 60,
Yeah.
then a 2.
He can.
Yeah.
So it's Parker.
It's Parker.
wow.
Now,
Okay.
this is a simple one based off what we said before, but Gone or Marshall for Aaron? Has to be Marshall, doesn't it?
It is
Than Max,
Marshall.
Over Max Gone.
Now, I'm sorry. That's last week.
Don't be.
People are so upset with the captain hindsight of this. And let me just explain and remind you why this happened. So last week, Rowan Marshall, as we led into teams, was easily the number one trade target.
Yeah.
Especially as a ruck, as a forward. We had him ranked number one in both positions. Okay. Now, the reason it went to Max by the end of teams being selected is that Tom Campbell thing. Marshall would not, and I guarantee it, have had anything near 160 if Campbell had have played. He would have got his 100, which we thought Max would get about 100. Max was the better play if he was going to share ruck duties for the run home. I thought, and you guys probably thought much the same. It was daylight between Rowan Marshall and Max if Tom Campbell wasn't named. It was clearly Rowan
exactly,
Marshall. I was backing that in hard for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's clearing that up. Don't forget that that's what happened. It was that whole Tom Campbell situation.
Yeah, 100%.
And as soon as he was out, it was once again back to Marshall, if you had trades, obviously, being the number one over Max.
Rowan Marshall will cost you a little bit more.
So
Worth every cent.
So
He's cheap.
since
He's cheap.
yeah, oh yeah, since being that solo ruck, 108 and then that 163.
and other times when he is solo ruck, and his form's just been great.
Yeah.
It has.
in this back part of the
It
season
has.
anyway.
Yeah.
Must have
All
this
right.
week.
He is a must-have this week.
Cal, your scale of hardest might help. Brocky D here on
I got you,
Twitter,
Brock.
at AFL Fantasy. He has tweeted us. Who's the most left field player you could think of bringing in right now as a point of difference?
In which position?
Well, give us one for each position.
Oh, God. Okay, put old Cal on the spot here.
Come on.
As a
You know
defender.
your craft.
I know me craft, mate. Don't worry about it. So we're looking at the scale. A defender. Jeez. Okay, I'll chuck in a little bit of a Zorko here then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
He's
just
got
because
a 5 in front of his price.
he's so cheap.
So cheap.
He had a 90-odd last week. So he's got Carlton at home. Then he goes into St Kilda and he finishes with Melbourne. Okay, so
He's
for
a
a
little
guy,
bit like a Bruce. Can he get a record of games in a row?
Yes,
Obviously,
this is-
Zorko's
I mean,
done
there's
better.
high
He's
risk,
got
but
3
yeah.
weeks to get through.
So, big left field cow. You know Zorko's in the top 5 most traded in players this week.
but he wasn't.
Thanks, big fella.
He wasn't there though.
Where did you
Roy.
pull that name from?
All right,
Who's Zorko?
midfield? I'll chuck in a Chad Warner. Can I have Chad Warner?
You can have Chad.
He's
Give
been
me a
popular
hell
last
yeah.
couple of weeks.
Oh, what
You can have Chad.
Just can
No,
I throw
come on,
out?
left field cow. This is just amazing.
Hand on the spot. Ruckman. Sean.
Max gone.
Sean
Oh,
Darcy.
sorry.
Sean
Rowan
Darcy.
Marshall.
Next question.
Just little known player.
Right. Zorko's a little bit unique.
He's in the top 5.
Well, I don't check that. I'm just answering a question.
Left field. He's the 5th most popular.
Next.
John does have here any issues with Marshall having the Lions in the prelim, which is red,
Nah.
according to the scale.
But you know what red is to him? It's like red rag to a bull.
Agreed.
He just goes at it harder.
Yeah.
Nah, don't fear any red for Rowan Marshall.
No, 100%.
No.
You can't. And that's where the scale. Grain of salt, fellas. Grain of salt.
Who are you picking? Who are you picking for David here? Sicily to Gus Brayshaw or Jack Sinclair?
Gus or Jack?
Sinclair feels obvious, he says, but has a tougher run out of the
Yeah,
two.
he does.
Like, it should be pretty rewarding for Brayshaw this
This week.
Too right, it should.
Like, if you're in a must-win game
Yep.
in the finals, I feel like head-to-head, Gus wins this week.
I believe so.
If it was earlier, if there was like 6 rounds left, I'd be saying Sinclair every day of the week between those two. But this week, and he's back in the, like we said, he doesn't matter where he plays, but like you said, Dog, instant reward playing in the midfield versus the Pies this week.
Yep.
It's Gus.
Back to your other question there about Rowan Marshall playing against Brisbane in that game. Last week, Nank the Tank had an 86 against them,
which is
So
good.
it's about a 120
It's a 1
for Rowe,
Yeah.
Dog.
Nathan wants a tick here. Callum Mills and Luke Parker as ins.
Tick, tick.
Are you happy to get rid of Jack McRae and Riley O'Brien to do that?
Yep.
Yes, they can go.
See you, boys.
Obviously, there's
Thanks,
a lot about who else
but-
is in your team and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
but those two can go.
72 last week for Jack.
And a tough matchup this week.
Yep.
He should be fine. But fine for him these days is 103.
Yeah.
That's fine for him.
Well, he hasn't gone over 110 in his last 6.
There you go.
So he can go.
Now, a question I've been getting a bit this week, Dog,
Yes.
is because people are trying to get up to these Uber premiums, or ones with a ceiling at least, which we used to think McRae, and we know he does have one, but his form isn't showing it. Same with Lachie Neale. Now, people are looking to pull the trigger on McRae or Neale to get up to one of the big boys, like
Yep.
a Laird, Mills, those types. Which one do they pull? It's like neck and neck between those
I
two.
agree.
Neither of them have shown a ceiling for an extended period of time. Neale will probably be tagged in possibly his last 2 games. Who's he got?
So
I remember-
Neil goes St Kilda, so he could get a Windhager
Yeah,
into a Melbourne.
so he won't.
Unless Harms is
unless
back or something like that.
Harmsy
He's not
is
there
back.
now.
but-
He's not
is
there.
he?
Oh, I thought
Oh,
he
is
was
he
playing this week.
Oh,
I thought he was
maybe
coming
was,
back
yeah.
in. Yeah.
So, but you're right. There is a little bit of a tension there for Neil. And Neil he had 100 last week.
Yes.
That's his best in his last 4.
Yeah.
No Harmsy.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think
So,
he is.
and then I think, he didn't come back in.
No.
I think he was available too.
He's an emergency.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so he'll be back for that, surely.
Yes, you would think so. Now, well, when he does come back, Gus goes probably back to yeah. Anyway, so the thing with McRae, he had that absolute stinker last week, but then he's ticked over those 2 tons the 2 weeks prior to that, I think. So you could throw a blanket over the pair of
But
them.
I think Neil can go first then.
So do I, especially looking at the scale of hardness.
That's Cal.
His last 2 games, McRae,
Yeah, so you would
Are
have
just
the Giants under the roof.
Yeah.
And then he would have Hawthorn at the G.
so that splits it for me.
It do-
If you
I
are
agree.
looking at those 2.
There
So
you
it's
go.
Neil.
Neil can
which
go.
feels like
I
a
know.
ridiculous move.
But has not tonned up in the last 1 ton in the last
And
month.
if you're going to someone like Laird or Mills,
Done.
those guys are tracking 130s this week.
Too right they are.
So there's 30 points right there.
Easy.
And a VC or a C.
Done.
Good question here from Riley. Who's going to be cheaper to pick up next week? Is it Teakle or Sarong? Usually it's the player that has played the fewer games. So Teakle's played that one game. He's already got that score in his rolling average. While it wasn't huge, it's enough to be a positive for his break even.
Yes.
So Sarong will be cheaper.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on what they score, clearly. However, yeah.
So Teagle's a 192.
Yep.
But carrying a 27, keep in mind he scored 27 in a quarter. So if he comes out doing that again...
If he can get a 50-60, he will make more than what a 50-60 would come from.
You would think so.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I need to get across that a little bit more because understanding how it works, so I might have to tap into your spreadsheet, Cal.
Hey.
Who would you get rid of for
Good luck with
Nathan
that,
here? Neil or Keys? Who would go out first?
Keys.
Yeah, Keys.
He's not playing forward, though, again, is he?
No.
But Neil can score higher.
I think so.
Easily.
Just the fear of that game again. So he got bailed out with three goals basically on the goal line.
Yep.
And like I said the other day, he enjoyed himself way too much. And there's no fear of Neil being thrown into a role like that. So I think I'd go that way.
And the thing is, he could get a similar role to that again, doing a back tag, because the Crows won, they looked good, he looked good with he kicked 3 snags, so he could get a role again.
We always say, if you get put in a position like that, do not do a good job of it, because you put yourself at high risk.
Yep.
Now, Brian wants to know here, Keys to Laird before Neil or McRae?
Yes.
Yeah, Keys is the one for me out of all of those.
The joke's finished with Laird. You need Laird at some point.
You do.
Right? Just stop.
Jeez, he costs you some money.
It
But
doesn't
have you
matter.
not had enough sleepless nights without him? And it wrecks a whole game of footy you cannot watch.
Is it Laird is 200 this week?
Yes.
Oh, it's not, is
200.
it?
200.
5 games over 130. 8 over 120.
I have to do it.
You got no choice.
I have to do it because I plan on winning our league.
There you go.
And I need him to win the league.
Harry wants to know
Is
here.
200th?
And he's got North Melbourne next week.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of Harry, geez, Harry, your boys' team's crashed and burned.
You know how many trades he's used lately?
What have you done with
Give
it?
it up. Oh,
What have
you've
you done
given
with
up.
it, Roy?
No, I stopped reminding him.
Oh,
Well, I needed to improve at least one spot in the rankings.
love it.
He's dummy spat more than you would.
No, he just stopped doing it.
All right. He was top 100.
Yeah, I know. I should have been more on top of that.
I think he might have had a little bit of a say in this.
Bad father. So Harry Moore wants to know, sick to helmet, Brayshaw.
I love these nicknames we give him, but yeah.
Well, yeah, we gave him a nickname of helmet because he wears a helmet.
Yeah.
It was genius.
And
Quite out there, that one.
Sicily, S-I-C, sick.
But it's sick dog.
Sick
Yeah,
dog.
you didn't even use the sick dog. Okay, so Sicily the helmet, yeah, you tick that, but would you do that over Cameron to Marshall or Parker?
Who's Cameron? Needs a nickname, sorry.
Look, and can I just go back to that whole nickname thing?
Yeah.
That's sick. The fact he didn't use dog is just real respecting. It's the progression of the nickname.
Sick. Yeah,
now
just
he
sick.
is just sick.
Yeah.
We know he's thinking sick dog, but he's brought it back to
So what were the trades
Let's
again?
answer the question. James Sicily
Okay.
to Angus Brayshaw.
Right.
Okay, so Sicily to Brayshaw.
Yeah.
Or is it? Now I've lost it. I have actually lost it now.
Oh, gee whiz, sorry.
And then it was Cameron
Darcy
to
Cameron to Rowan Marshall.
Rowan Marshall.
Get Marshall.
You need Marshall.
Look, Sick might actually be all right out
He
here.
will be
He
all right.
loves going in those deep pockets. I know
Yep.
you can't see where I'm pointing at home, but they are deep
They do.
pockets and they just chip it around to him.
The covers
Especially
are
if-
on out there at the moment too. They've got the covers on.
Oh, they do too. Sick will like running through that. So, especially when the game's out here, if they're over in the fourth quarter, it goes really dead and it's just kick to kick. And Sick could be okay. So, you chase and row.
Yeah, yes, you would be.
Yeah.
He scores more, even if
course he
that's a
does.
really simple thing.
Well, yeah. There you go. I should have just said that.
Sicily hasn't been taking the marks that he was.
No.
He has-
Really this week?
Well, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I'm
but
looking
you're
at
saying,
this.
so you're saying trade Sicily then?
No. I'm saying you still need Rowe.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. The best defender under 750k. Do you go all the way down to Zorko?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might as well.
You might as well.
And the other
Risk it
side
for
of
the
that
biscuit.
trade would actually
Yeah,
give you some cash for
significant.
next week, even if it is for next week.
Otherwise, it's a big upgrade this week.
You are
It's like a
saving
downgrade. Rookie
160k if you're looking at that. If you you got 750. He's like down to 590.
Yeah, and like he's an elite player. There's no risk of him really being a bad player. The only risk with him is obviously injury. But like he's tracking towards finals. They want kilometres in his legs.
97 last week, 25 touches, 5 marks, 5 tackles.
Time on ground?
Time on ground, 88%.
Lock him in.
Yeah.
Lock him in, dog.
You can do it.
Bargain.
Sick dog to helmet
Yep.
or Libber to Marshall.
See, that guy went with the sick dog, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOG.
That's still okay.
DOG.
Nah, he's forgot the W.
Yeah.
That's if he's ill.
It is
And the
still Marshall. Anytime I hear the word Marshall today, that's your answer.
Right.
I don't want to hear anything else.
It's Marshall.
It's Marshall.
yeah.
Helmet's going to be big, though, this week.
Helmet will be big.
So will
but
Marshall.
It's
Who
Marshall.
you picking out of Walsh and Brad Crouch for Chris?
Oh, I'm Walsh.
I'm
and
Walsh.
I know we would all think that's predictable. Crouch, I know why you're looking at him. He's been
Form's been very
outstanding. But it's Walsh for me.
Well, Crouch has Geelong in Geelong.
That's a tough one.
There's your answer.
Right,
Except
we're going to
for
wrap
Rose.
this up, boys. It's got 7 o'clock already.
Oh,
Jeez, dog, come on. I've got a family.
Working hard tonight. Lauren wants to know, McRae or Sean Darcy to Marshall? I think you just have to stick with the McRae.
You've got to go.
If you're not getting in a bigger mid,
Yeah.
it's got to be Darcy to
Agree.
That
Sean
one
Darcy.
for me is obvious. Yeah,
That's Sean Darcy.
Yeah.
He goes.
Darcy goes.
Last one, Bales wants to know, trade Sick Dog or...
How did he spell it?
The correct way, SICDAWG.
Yeah, boy!
To, geez, I'm losing them. To Marshall, Angus Brazier or Parker. You're getting Marshall before Angus Brazier or Parker.
Yeah, but all three are
they're all
outstanding.
fantastic.
And realistically, blame it on yourself, not us, if we're out by a couple of points here.
Yeah.
Because all of those guys can go big, and some of, like the other dudes have matchups that are nicer than Road Dogg.
They do.
But I'm still the big fella.
Agree.
Just the last one here because I like it. Nathan wants to know, Marshall or Million Laird? Like a millionaire. Millionaire.
I don't get it.
Huh?
Like a minion.
Million.
Million Laird.
Oh, my God. Those gremlins you've got in your ear are playing up again. Do you go Laird?
Yes.
Over Marshall?
Because you get two
Because every
legs.
answer's been Marshall Day.
Well,
no matter what the
better
question
mix
is.
it up.
At no
Better mix it
point
up.
are you bringing in 2 Marshalls here. You're bringing in 2 lads.
Would have been handy last week.
Yeah. Millionaire.
Million Laird.
Millionaire.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Cal, I'm asking some overtime from you.
Trilingual.
Pay me.
I think I can actually speak more languages than 3.
You speak about 3 different versions of English.
You wait till the podcast.
Depends on how many cans you've had as well. That makes
true.
a difference.
That
Thanks
is
so much
true.
for tuning in. Check out all the content at afl.com.au and the AFL Live app, especially the 5 o'clock teams
Yep.
on Friday afternoon before you're locking in your trades. And don't lock in any trades before you have to.
No.
So it might be nice to hold off on your Friday night if you need to.
Look, Dog, I
Just
think
in case
moving
something happens
forward,
Saturday.
a splitting hairs, you know, when you just can't split 2.
Yes.
Now, a factor is that how early is it?
Right. And that's
That
smart.
is that's a tool. That is a tool that we should use moving forward.
Speaking of tools, thanks for being here tonight, Calvin. And we will...
Tara McCussy.
Guten Tag. Didn't see that coming, did you?
I didn't see that coming.
Bit of German.
So well done.
We'll catch you next time. We're looking at you. Thanks for tuning in. And see you later.